All right, everyone. Well, good Friday morning to you. I hope you're ready to get muddy and sweaty and pretend to be a Marine for the day. Tomorrow, the Dirty Devil Dog Mud Run is going on right here at the Marine Corps Logistics Base. This morning, we're getting a little live preview of the course. I'm here with Captain Kyle Thomas, and we're here in the middle of the route, but we got this big, well, it looks like a sewer behind us and almost a river here in front of us.
Right. This is actually going to be the first obstacle. Just beyond this is going to be the starting point at Cabela Pond. Mm-hmm. So if you've been out here for Independence Day before, that's really where it's going to start. Okay. Then they're going to come, the runner's going to come through this tunnel here, and then they're going to drop off into this canal. And this actually goes on for a way, so this is actually the first real obstacle of the race.
All right, so we're talking, it's about a 5K race, but you have obstacles such as this one that we're in right now. Really kind of feeling what it's like to be a Marine and out there training in the trenches?
Oh, definitely. They're going to get very dirty. They're going to get very wet. However, of course, they can bypass any obstacle that they would want to. Of course, you know, Marines, they're going to have to run the whole thing, of course, you know. Or we're going to shame them into running the whole course. But it's not going to be anything that they're not used to. Okay. So this is something that very similar to what we do in training. And, of course, if people want to limit how wet or how muddy they want to get, of course, they can do what they want throughout the course. Sure. We highly encourage doing the whole thing. And if you decide to get wet, this is going to be the first spot in which you get wet right
now. Now, here we are. I know it's dark, and don't worry, the race isn't until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, so it will be light when everyone's running. But, I mean, this is, I'd say, at least knee-deep water.
Yes, definitely knee-deep. Of course, we've had Marines, we've had some civil servants test the course, and of course they come back good and filthy. So, and it really starts right here. We're looking at, depending on how tall you are, anywhere from knee-deep to almost waist, depending on how short. So, but mainly knee-deep.
Okay, when we say waist depending, I mean little kids can do this too. It's nothing too strenuous.
Oh yes, we've had all ages sign up between 7 and 80. Wow. So, of course, you know, we have smaller children running the course. Now, we might get to an obstacle that might be too difficult for them, and of course, they can easily bypass that as well.
Certainly. You talk about bypassing all these obstacles, but we are here in a canal. There are hills on both sides. Yes. So even if they try to get away from the obstacle, I mean, it's going to be pretty tough to get out of it.
Right, especially this one. I mean, once you commit to this, you're pretty much in a canal for probably about a half mile. Okay. And there's actually another set of tunnels that you'll have to crawl through before actually running uphill. Goodness. And then going over the barriers once you get out of the canal.
All right, so we're talking a 5K race, but I mean, even if you're a very avid runner, this is certainly going to be a challenge.
Definitely. Well, what makes this a challenge is you're not just using your legs, you're using everything. Mm-hmm. So this is an overall endurance course. That's like I said before, modeled after some of the training that we do. I've seen 3-mile endurance courses. I've seen 6-mile endurance courses. So, of course, your feet are going to be a little weighed down after you go through some of the mud obstacles. Mm-hmm. Depending on what you're wearing, you're going to be wet, so you're going to be heavier when you go up those hill obstacles and those barriers. So,
talk to me about some tips, because I was asking if, you know, what should I wear when I come out here this morning? You mentioned duct taping shoes.
Right. I know that's an idea that's out there because it's very easy, especially when we get to the latter half of the race, where a lot of the actual mud obstacles are, to lose shoes, to lose boots if they're not tied on. Sure. So lace them up, tie them up. It probably wouldn't be bad. I've heard of some people wanting to duct tape their actual. I don't know how hard it's going to be for them to get it off when they get
Might be better than losing the shoe, though. All right. Well, we're going to get a little preview of the course. Of course, this is only the first of many obstacles. We'll be taking a look at them all live here on Good Day. But come on down tomorrow and test your skills at being a Marine. Kelly, back to you. It's all brains.
It's all, yeah, hopefully.
All right, guys, we are live here at the Marine Corps Logistics Base, getting ready for the Dirty Devil Dog Run. It's coming up tomorrow. And now our equipment doesn't want to seem to give us a sneak peek, but we're at another obstacle. And Captain Thomas, we're looking pretty clean for this mud run that's coming up.
Right. If you're clean by the time you get here, you have bypassed every obstacle up to this point. But if you feel that, of course, you're going to do everything and you're not muddy enough, right behind us, you can see, and this water is actually about ankle deep.
He calls it water. It is a swimming pool of mud that we have back here.
Right. This is the first mud pit, so this is just first of many. throughout the rest of the race.
Now, any idea how deep that mud is right here?
This is about ankle deep.
Okay.
But this is actually the belly crawl portion of the race.
Oh, so we're not talking a swim. We're not talking run. You have to get down Army style, I'm assuming?
Right, or Marine style. Or Marine style. So, and you're actually going to use your forearms, and your elbows to pull yourself through this part of the obstacle here. So you're going to get really good and wet and saturated here. Okay. Then we get to the low crawl, which is very similar to this.
Before we get to that low crawl, I want to just point out right here, guys, these look like fire hoses to me. Is this what you're using to make all that mud?
Well, I'm not exactly sure what they've used. They probably use various methods to saturate this entire course. There's a lot of equipment. There's a lot, of course, bringing the dirt in, making sure that everything is churned up, and then using different means to actually pump water into the course. Okay. And that's taken at least several days, if not a week or more. So this has been a work in progress, really for a couple of weeks now, probably total, as far as actually building the course itself. And, of course, it wouldn't be a mud run without mud. So, and this is the first one.
Continuing on our little mud run here, because folks will walk out, get out of the little marine-style crawl, and come over here. We've got a big field. Again, it's dark now. Come the race on Saturday, it won't be dark. But what's coming up next?
Well, what's coming up next would be the low crawl. Okay. And then once they get through that, that's going to be a little bit easier than this, a little bit more fast-paced. The water's, it's going to be more mud than water, but you're going to see a little bit of water. But the mud comes up in clumps. So once you get past that, when you finish that obstacle, you should be pretty good and weighted down. So you're going to be a lot heavier than when you started.
Folks are going to just be covered.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
All right, now let's backtrack a little bit because we did skip one obstacle. Probably a good thing because I was making a little fool of myself trying to hop over this barrier is what you were calling it.
Right. Now, when they initially, they're going to start with the canal, which we showed earlier, and they're actually going to finish with the canal also. Okay. When they get to a certain point, they're going to have to crawl up a pretty steep hill to get up into the embankment, and then after that, almost immediately climb over a barrier that comes up to about this height. And it's like the orange road barriers that you typically see, and especially if you're no stranger to the base, it's the types of barriers that you see when you're driving in.
And I was getting a little practice, and unfortunately we couldn't show you that. Our technology just didn't want to work. Then you got a little run, kind of shake off some of that mud until you get there to that wonderful mud swimming pool. We've got one more obstacle to show you coming up live here on Good Day. First, back to y'all in the studio. Back to Good Day, everyone. We're here at the Marine Corps Logistics Base talking all about the big mud run coming up. Now, you might not be able to see us because we're pretty far back here, and Captain Thomas is here in some camouflage, but these are tires here in front of us, and this is all part of another obstacle here in the mud run. Talk to me about what we got and what we're about to do.
Okay, now, the participants should be pretty well waterlogged by the time they get to this portion of the obstacle, so it might look easy, but it's going to feel probably like your feet are really weighed down, probably like you're wearing bricks on your feet. Okay. And of course, you're going to be wet head to toe before you even start this.
We're going to give you a little demo. Again, we're not waterlogged. We're not all mud or anything like that because we've just been giving you a sneak peek. But really, just kind of get those legs up. Is that?
A matter of fact, you don't want to do it too slow, too fast. Make sure, of course, you watch where you're putting your feet. Okay. And started. So that's
Captain Thomas over here. Carrie Capello, our wonderful weekend meteorologist, is here with us. She's going to count us off with a 3, 2, 1. And I just want to say, the tires are definitely not too close together over here. Carrie, whenever you're ready. 3, 2, 1. I'm not a Marine. But I didn't fall over. All right. Well, clearly I got my butt kicked by a Marine, but we're all having fun here tomorrow. Right. Didn't fall over, which is a good sign. But again, the ground here is dry right now. Going to be soaking wet tomorrow with all this mud. Right.
This is going to be a little bit more saturated, not much, but really the mud obstacles are going to be pretty well defined. Oh, yeah. So when they get through the tires here, they're going to have a very short distance of dry ground here, and then they're going to go into the next two mud obstacles. So by the time they do the last probably half mile or mile, they're going to be covered.
just covered in mud, all having fun. It's not too late to register. If people want to come out tomorrow, again, race starts at 10. You can come out here earlier and sign up.
Right. Of course. Well, we have registration until 15 minutes before the event, but we really encourage people, if you have base access, please come out between 11:30 to 1 o'clock today, pick up your packet. And tomorrow, if you don't have base access, get here sometime 9 o'clock, maybe before is a good idea, 8:30, to come out, pick up those packets so we can kind of keep it kind of moving along the registration process, because we have 500 plus. We wouldn't be surprised if we had probably 600 show up tomorrow.
Wonderful. And this is the first year you guys have ever done anything like this.
Yes, exactly. And we looked at to make it better as time goes on. Of course, next year it's going to be a lot more challenging, but a lot more fun.
Sure.
And of course, we really appreciate anybody's feedback on Facebook or any of our social media sites.
Wonderful. Well, we are nice and clean here, but come tomorrow, folks are just going to be so dirty. It's all having fun out here at the Marine Corps Logistics Base. Back to you guys in the studio.